Growing up, I was no stranger to my visits to the principal's office. I can vividly remember multiple times being dragged in with their beaming eyes just kind of staring at me, hoping that I would eventually confess and tell the truth. And in those moments, I would embellish the truth. I would swear up and down. I would make an oath. I would do anything I could to manipulate or bend what actually happened as a way to protect myself. I have a feeling I'm not alone in that situation. And interestingly enough, Jesus, in his most famous sermon, the Sermon on the Mount, there in Matthew 5, in the middle of a conversation about murder and sexuality, he talks about oaths and swearing. And at one point he says, you shouldn't swear or take an oath at all, by heaven or by your own head. And then he just says this, your yes should be your yes, and your no should be your no. Now, in the middle of a conversation that feels pretty heavy, this whole topic on oaths feels a bit out of place, but keep in mind that Jesus' audience lived in an oral tradition, meaning their word was everything. There was no instant replay, there were no phones to post on social media later what happened. There were very few legal documents as well, and so your word was essentially all that you had. And so the law around oath keeping was meant to protect the purity of the heart and to ensure that you and I would tell the truth when we needed to. But Jesus, in this short teaching on swearing and letting your yes be yes, is getting at a hard truth that all of us have to come to wrestle with. And that's when we are put in a corner, most of us will find ways to manipulate the truth, to protect ourselves. And so the invitation that Jesus makes, I think, is twofold for us. Number one, to simply tell the truth. In a moment where all of us live in an age where curating is an art form, right? We need to just simply tell the truth. Meaning you won't find a bad photo of me on Instagram. Why? Because I've curated the heck out of that thing to ensure that I have bent and manipulated and twisted things to make me look decent, I guess. So learn to tell the truth. Simply tell what actually happened. The second implication for us is to live out the truth, to actually walk it out in our lives. Again, in our current moment, we are people who are just flaky. Like, flaky people. You at some level, and me at some level, we've been flaky in the past, where bailing out of commitments is just the normal thing that we do. And so Jesus' invitation is to walk out the truth. Actually live it out in your life. Learn to be honest before God and before people. Why? So that you can actually experience intimacy with people. All our relationships, from marriages to neighbors, is built on intimacy and trust. And we can't have that if you and I are not becoming people of our word. My name is Fredo, and this has been my short sermon.